reason I wanted to talk about the coming El Nino is, you know how like lately we've been having some kind of weird weather.
It seems like that's every day in Los Angeles.
No, but like it. Well, yeah, of course.
Well, when is El Nino coming then?
Well, it's coming this winter, and they're saying it's gonna bring above normal amounts of water from January to March.
January to March.
That's usually when winter is.
So El Nino can show up anytime? Like, it's not dependent on the seasons?
It is. It's usually a winter storm.
Ah.
Because like I told you earlier.
Is that why it's so hot now? Like, is it saving up for El Nino?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, there's like, I keep hearing about like built up pressure in the atmosphere or whatever, and like.
Alright, science.
Yeah, it's weird. And I heard somewhere about like this like huge, massive like warm water that's just sitting out in the Pacific somewhere, just like stuck out there for some reason. Probably should have looked into that.
It's like stranded island of water in the ocean. That's not a very good description either. So something about that warm patch, and it just carries that and makes a storm or something. Wind pressure, climate, hockey stick.
What is it? Well, the El Nino is caused by the warming sea surface along with a change in the weather pattern. It brings the warm air, brings the warm water.
Oh, so it's kind of like Friday the 13th, but for weather. Like when two things line up, then surprise, El Nino. Well, maybe it's not a surprise because the scientists know it's coming.
Is that more Halloween? Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, like, when the dates and the months line up, or I mean the dates and the weeks line up, you get Friday the 13th.
I thought you were talking about, like, the movie. Like, Jason Voorhees.
Talking about a specific day.
Yes, sometimes the 13th is on a Friday, Anthony.
Yeah, and that was the analogy. Alright, moving on.
Yeah. Anyways, they're saying the rain will be good because it doesn't just get our dried out lawns all nice and wet. They're saying it'll provide rain for the mountains as well, and that trickles down to the reservoirs, which are depleted at the moment.
Ah.
But they're saying, of course, this one storm isn't going to solve California's drought problem.
Are they trying to say that as soon as all these storms pass, we're in for like another 10 years of drought until the next El Nino comes?
Probably, yeah.
That's what it feels like. It's getting more pronounced. We've only lived through one El Nino, so it's not like we can say.
It seems to be, every 17 years?
When was the last one?
The last one was the winter of 97 to 98.
I remember it like it was the winter of 97 or 98. No, it was like super rainy. I think I was like in 3rd or 4th grade or something.
Yeah, I remember that shit. That shit was scary.
Yeah, I had to walk to school in the rain. Yeah, don't you remember it was like storm watch everything?
Yeah. Everybody was freaking out about it.
When is this rain ever gonna end? At the end of winter?
Oh, yeah. That's how seasons work, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, everything was just wet for like a month or two.
It sucked.
Yeah.
Everything smelled moldy.
Maybe like snowboarders had a good time. It was all wet and snowy up there.
Oh yeah. And that's when the X Games like really kicked into full gear too.
Yeah, what if like El Nino is what?
Without El Nino, we wouldn't have X Games.
Maybe we just have 2 summer X Games. We should, because we're in California.
Summer X Games all year long.
It's the Winter Summer X Games.
What? They broke it down to the percentages of like the likelihood of the storm, I guess, because it's only predictions, or I can't say for sure it's going to happen. But for Los Angeles and San Diego, we have a 60% chance of having an above average wet winter.
I like those odds.
Yeah.
Better than gambling.
Yeah. And it's a 33% chance of an average winter.
And what are the odds of, like, what is it, Armageddon winter?
60%, I already told you.
That's Armageddon? That's the bad one?
For Los Angelinos, yeah. Because it makes people lose their shit.
Why is all this stuff falling out of the sky? And then it's just collecting on the ground. Only we set up a series of drain pipes to do something about it. It's gonna be crazy though. Like, we had some intense rain maybe a month ago, I guess. And I remember it was 100 degrees that day. And on the same day, like, some crazy storm came through. And I was driving with my sister somewhere. And there was like a dip in the road, I guess. And it was a pretty deep dip because it was flooded. And I guess dude didn't know how deep it was. And he tried to drive through it. So we're driving by and like we just see this car stalled out because his like whole engine is underwater on the same day that it's 100 degrees outside.
That must have been pretty trippy.
So we got a lot more of that to look forward to, I assume.
Yep. And the mudslides.
Well, that can't be that bad. They wrote a song about it. Wet Christmas, right?
Who wrote that song? Never heard a song called Wet Christmas. Where do you come up with these things?
So then, is there anything we can do to prepare for El Niño?
No.
No. So we just wait. We just stand outside with an umbrella until like a flood takes us.
With our ass in the air and just ready to get fucked.
Well, I'm sure like over 50% of people in Los Angeles don't even have like earthquake kits.
Yeah.
Right?
I sure as hell don't. Even though I should. I got a family and all. Yeah.
So I have a hard time believing anyone's getting ready for a 60% chance of a storm.
Not just a storm. Fucking El Niño.
Like,
it's back.
Yeah, there was a new metal band named after it. Il Niño.
Oh yeah.
Remember new metal?
New metal? Terrible. Apparently the drought in California has been going on for 4 years.
Yeah, but like they didn't start panicking until like a year or two ago.
Yeah, we're talk about being unprepared. Fuck.
Yeah, I think California's really good at that.
Oh shit. What else were we unprepared for? Schwarzenegger, I guess.
Came out of nowhere.
I guess the last thing you could say about the storm, though, is it isn't only limited to California, of course. It's going to continue across the southern United States and across Texas and into Florida.
Just like any good trend.
Yeah.
Starts in California and moves its way across.
The bastards in the north won't have to deal
So
with
does it stay the same the whole time? Like, is it going to rain on everybody's parade?
Pretty much. Yeah. Just constant water in the air.
Forever.
Forever.
Or 3 months. Well, we won't know until the 3 months is over.
Could be 35 days. Or wait, 3 months.
90?
Could be.
Unless you're trying to add up
96 days, 97 days.
It's a leap year, isn't it?
Could be 85 days. Who knows?
Or it could be one really crazy day.
Oh wait, there's only 28 days. No, it is a leap year.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
What year are we in?
God, we're horrible podcasters.
And who's to say it'll be the same year when I finally finish editing? Alright, so, is anyone preparing for El Niño? Like, is the government doing anything about it? Aren't they going to put us in concentration camps?
They'll probably put us in concentration camps. And,
Oh, well, that's if Trump wins.
yeah. Well, that'll be after El Niño in November.
He'll blame the El Niño on us. It's how he's going to get elected. It's all coming together.
Son of a bitch. I bet he knew it all along, too.
It's the perfect storm.
Trump.
If all the Mexicans stayed in Mexico, then El Niño would have only affected Mexico. And then Ben Carson's in the background. Yep, science. I'm a neurosurgeon. Alright, was that everything about El Niño?
Everything from that LA Times article.
We should play some El Niño to play us out of this segment. I don't know anything about El Niño. I wonder if it's even on YouTube.
It's got to be on Pandora.
All I know is it's new metal, so you can't hear any bass in it.
Well, bass drum, probably.
Some. It's all about 2 rhythm guitars and a singer. That's new metal. You could do a podcast about that. Ugh.
Gas clock.
Alright, so I want to talk about video games now.
What else is new?
Well, Chibi Robo is new. I just got it this week.
It's a new game?
Yeah, it just came out for the 3DS. It's called Chibi Robo, because there's an exclamation at the end. And then Ziplash.
Ziplash? What's
Yeah,
that, like?
It's like Whiplash, I guess, but with a zip line. Because
That's like the subtitle of the game?
Yeah. Because basically Chibi Robo is a tiny robot. Wait a minute. This is Chibi Robo.
Chibi Robo has his own amiibo already?
Yeah, that's how they got me to buy a Chibi Robo. Like, I love Chibi Robo, but the original game on the GameCube was like this weird platforming game where you're basically like a little helper robot, right? That a family buys. And so he has to go around, like, cleaning up trash in the house and, like, helping the family with their weird problems and stuff, like when they lose their keys or something.
So like that robot from the Jetsons?
Yeah, but, like, tiny and hilarious. But yeah, so so the whole world of the game is just one house and, like, their backyard.
That doesn't sound very exciting.
But, like, because you're a tiny, like, 4-inch robot, like, it's like an enormous planet.
Well, yeah, I guess. Let's say a planet, maybe like a compound.
It's like Castlevania, but with a regular house.
There you go.
So, like in the original, like you would have to talk to the family a lot, and they always have these weird problems and these weird commercials on TV that they'd show, and just a bunch of like weird dialogue happening all the time. So that game was a classic, but it didn't sell very well because no one wants to play as a tiny cleaning robot. Then, like, some other games came out, but we're up to Chibi Robo Ziplash now, and they still know no one buys Chibi Robo. So they're like, we're gonna stuff an amiibo in there, and then, like, we'll get these amiibo addicts to at least buy a couple copies.
Yeah, it worked on you.
Yeah, it did. But anyway, the amiibo's fine, but,
Shiny.
yeah, it looks great. I wonder if anyone's tried to plug it into something yet and melted their amiibo.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But the game itself is actually really fun. I didn't know what to think because it's so much different from the GameCube one, which was like a 3D kind of puzzle platformer. Like you're always trying to solve things in that game. But this one is just like a straight up 2D side scroller, like Mario style, like very little storyline. And you're just, jumping over gaps and whipping stuff with your plug. So basically, he carries the plug like a whip, and you could beat up people with it.
So he's like a robotic Indiana Jones.
Yeah. So it has a real Castlevania feel to the game. Because you're just whipping around everywhere, like using the whip to like grab onto things to swing across like gaps and beat up enemies.
Sounds
and
more like Indiana Jones for me.
Because you haven't played enough Castlevania.
I haven't played any Castlevania.
Castlevania is literally a game about a guy with a whip.
You should probably try that game.
We'll have to fire it up on a Let's Play at some point. Oh, we can make you go through Symphony of the Night. That would be an experience. Anyway, so I'm like up to World 2 on Chibi Robo. It's like a slow burn, which is kind of boring for platformers. Like, I want to be like being chased by monsters and having to jump over like barely possible leaps across like chasms because I'm so used to playing platformers.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want it to be like the fucking tutorial at the first level that teaches you how to jump or how to pick up items.
You just want to get to the action.
Yeah, like I'm used to like hitting start and then you're just on the first stage and you just have to press all the buttons to see what happens. But now that like, well, for one, like getting used to the controls is kind of a hassle because you use all the face buttons. Like there's like the regular whip, then there's like the charge whip, and then you have jump, and then you can duck, and you can roll. You could, I think that's about it. But just getting used to where the buttons are placed was a bit much, because sometimes you're trying to use one whip, and you accidentally hit the charge whip button when you're trying to, like, whip something in the air, and then you just fall down and die. So at first, like, I was just getting used to the buttons, so it was a really boring fucking game.
Right.
But now that, like, it's kind of second nature, now you're just, like, whipping and zipping everywhere.
It's intuitive.
Lashing and smashing. Well, yeah, now it's like intuitive. It reminds me a lot of Super Metroid, because I remember, I love that game now, but when I first started playing, it was like I couldn't come to terms with the controls, like, at all. Like, I kept launching missiles when I meant to switch to a power bomb or something.
Nice.
And, like, and Super Metroid is super frustrating because, like, sometimes you need, like, one super missile to open a door, and then I accidentally launch a super missile for no reason. Anyway, Chibi Robo is awesome. But this brings me to the next topic, which is the bad news. I'm hooked on amiibos again.
Great. Good
so, I learned that I didn't kick the habit.
There goes all your pants budget money.
Yeah, dude. In fact, I had to sell a pair of pants just to get this one.
Jeez.
So I learned I didn't kick the habit. It just turns out, you know, you're not addicted if you can't get any of what you're addicted to. So, like, for a couple of waves of amiibo, I couldn't even get my hands on them, right? But I lucked out today because, well, I lucked out that this guy was pre-orderable and came with the game. So he was pretty easy to get. And then the same goes for this guy here, Yoshi! Which is awesome because he's a little plush toy.
That's some good craftsmanship right there.
But
how dare you treat Yoshi that way?
Well, he won't break at least. I'm not gonna throw this one.
Not yet, at least.
I might try to plug it in later, though. I'm sure it turns on or something. What was I gonna say now? Oh yeah, so like I'm back in because I just got these two this week, and then luck would have it today, the day off when we record our podcast, the blue and the pink yarn Yoshis came out too. So by Sunday I'm gonna have 3 of this guy and 2 other colors. I'm back. I'm hooked. I didn't even buy different amiibo. I bought the same amiibo several times. That's how bad it is.
Wait, this is an amiibo? This counts as amiibo too?
Yeah, he has like the little amiibo stamp. So, like, he's compatible with any other amiibo stuff. That's cool, right? That they would actually design different types of amiibos.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It's something different.
They're actually even coming out with like a giant stuffed Yoshi amiibo.
Dang it. You're gonna get that too, aren't you?
It depends how much it is. And how easy it is to get. Which
true.
is the real factor. Money is no object.
People love Yoshi. A little too much, apparently.
So, yeah, I'm hooked on amiibos again. So we can look forward to more amiibo updates in the future.
And then possibly an amiibo intervention.
Yeah. And then maybe like an amiibo confiscation. We're cutting you off.
To put you in amiibo rehab.
Oh, that reminds me, I was playing Chibi Robo, and the amiibos can unlock like different little Chibi Robo statues in the game, right? That's what the amiibos do in that game. So you can unlock little collectible figures within the game, right? Every time you attach an amiibo. But then, like, I was attaching all my amiibo that I have behind us, and it cut me off, like, at 15 amiibo. It's like, you transferred enough amiibo for one day. What? I'll tell you when I've had enough. You can't cut me off.
You need to know your limits, Anthony.
This is nothing. I'm fine.
How many do you have again?
I haven't counted. With these two, I think I might be up to 20 amiibos now.
So you have 5 that you can use.
I had to wait till tomorrow. Like some sort of peasant.
Can you just, like, change the date setting on your DS?
You can do that, but it always makes all the games go all wonky. Like, the games know when you do that now.
So it's not good?
It just has random effects. Like, you don't know how it's going to affect some other game because you change the date.
Oh, shit.
Because you have to change the date internally on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And then, like, who knows, like, you try to turn on some other game, and it's like, hey, everything's erased.
Well, then maybe don't do that.
Alright, so, I guess next week I'll show off the other 2 Yoshis. And I also have my finger on the trigger to get some other amiibo from online. But there are a bunch of amiibo I don't even want. So that's why I haven't pulled the trigger. It's just like, man, I want more amiibo. I don't want these amiibo.
Oh, what are they?
There's the 3 from GameStop. What is it? It's like called the Retro Pack, and it features Mr. Game & Watch, the Duck Hunt Dog, and Rob the Robot.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder they packaged them together.
Well, Game & Watch and Duck Hunt Dog, those are pretty big characters. I don't see why you wouldn't get excited about that.
Well, they're not like... It's not like there's some new Duck Hunt game coming out or anything.
But it's a classic.
I guess. But also, well, to be fair, another reason why I don't want to order it is because they're still available, and that makes them not feel like as rare as the other amiibos I bought. I don't want it if I can still buy it. That's basically the feeling I've had. Well, if I could just order it online, why do I even want it?
I don't think you know how supply and demand works.
Well, they're not supplying me the ones that I actually want, like Palutena, Dark Pit, Lucina. Yeah, all those ones. Oh, Wii Fit Trainer. I can't think of any more right now, but there are many that I don't got, that I do want. Like, I wouldn't care if Lucina or Palutena were, like, the most common amiibos. I still want those ones specifically, just like I wanted my Samus one that's not very rare at all.
Well, everybody loves Samus.
No, that's why it's not rare. And it's not like everyone loves Palutena. Do you even know what game she came from?
I do not.
See? But it's still sold out just because it's a rare one. And all the collectors gobble them up. Anyway, amiibo. Amiibo!
Here we go again.
Alright, was there anything else we have to cover? Gun control. I'm sure we could cover that in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Guns. Don't buy them.
No, do buy them. Don't shoot people.
What comedian had that joke of, like, make bullets, like, super expensive?
I think it was Chris Rock.
Yeah.
$10,000 a bullet. That was a great joke, but I can't help but imagine, people were just trying to shoot rocks that they could stuff into the gun or something. Until their fucking gun breaks and blows up in their hand.
Did you shoot me with a bean?
It fit the chamber. We've identified the beans came from the 3rd Street Market. We've got our perp.
I knew there was something going on with that bag boy.
They turn to look at the bag boy. He's like putting a gun into a bag. Or he pulls the gun out of the bag and shoot at him. Thanks for listening to the Bystanders podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/gamemusicforall. You can find links and show notes from today's episode at thebystanderspodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram at The Bystanders Podcast and on Twitter at TBS Podcast. And you can support the show by subscribing to us at patreon.com/GinoBoots.
But you're not going to wear pants, are you?
Well, should I start?